Here we go. Let's do better. Here we go. As soon as you're open, your man helps it off. That's the catch and shoot. You gotta be ready. Work, work, work.
After an educational trip through the state of North Carolina, we bring the lights up here at GCU Arena for the first time in 2 weeks as your GCU Lopes women's basketball team try to get back to their winning ways as they take this young team into a 4-team, 2-day showdown known as the GCU Thanksgiving Showdown. Good afternoon, everybody. Jim Howe welcoming you to GCU Arena. And as I bring in Alex Larson, Alex, the Lopes, 9 new faces and a 1-2 start. So far, they've been perfect here at GCU Arena after losing games to East Carolina and then to UNC Wilmington in somewhat disappointing fashion. I think head coach Nicole Powell is just looking for the maturity and the learning curve to continue with this team.
This is a team that's very good statistically, and they have they have only a couple seniors as a young team.
Let's turn it over to our PA announcer here at GCU Arena, Doc Winiger.
Women's basketball matchup between the Sycamores of Indiana State University and your Grand Canyon University Etta Lopez. At this time, we would ask that you please rise, and gentlemen, please remove your hats as we start this afternoon with a word of prayer. Today's prayer is given by GCU's very own Danielle Rainier.
Lord, thank you for today. Thank you for a beautiful day, the opportunity to enjoy competition. God, thank you for the players and coaches who have worked so hard to get here. God, pray that you keep them safe, that they play to the best of their ability, and God, just that everyone enjoys today. It's in Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
And now, fans, please remain standing as we honor America with our national anthem. The Star-Spangled Banner will be performed this afternoon by the GCU Thundering Herd Pep Band under the direction of Paul Cook, and today his associate, Vanessa Smith. And now, let's meet the players and coaches competing in today's game. First for the visiting team, the Indiana State Sycamores. A 5'5" guard, number 3, Ashley O'Neal. A 5'8" guard, number 10, Tamara Lee. A 5'7" guard, number 14, Tiara Webb. A 6-foot forward, number 24, Kiera Isaiah. And a 6'1" forward, number 30, Reagan Wentland. The interim head coach for the Sycamores is Luke Scheidecker, assisted by Quasey Barnes-Timmons and Roman Tubner. Kavita Akula. And guard, a 5'9" freshman from Barcelona, Spain, number 5, Laura Piera. At forward, a 6'2" freshman from Barcelona, Spain, number 12, Carla Balagay. And guard, a 5'11" freshman from Bangkok, Finland, number 21, Denla Vera. And at center, a 6-foot senior from Blaine, Minnesota, number 53, Sharon Miller. Head coach for the Antelopes is Nicole Powell, assisted by Nikki Blue, Taylor Hyde, and Brad Langstein.
So both teams going with a 3-guard alignment. Indiana State coming in with a record of 2-0 with a couple of big comeback wins. They have Tamara Lee, Tiara Webb, and Ashley O'Neill at the guard spots. Reagan Wetland and Kiara Isaiah up front. And for the Lopes, who come in at 1 and 2, also a 3-guard alignment of Lauda Pieta, Vin Laveris, and Kavita Akula. And then up front, Sharon Miller and Carla Balagay getting the start again for AJ Cephas. Our starting line is brought to you by Dignity Health. This should be a good matchup between two teams that have never seen each other before. Alex, what's your 3 keys to victory?
First, the Sycamore defense is aggressive. They like to take the ball away and then press and get transition. Next, they got to slow down that transition, and then they need to out-rebound the Sycamores and get more second chances.
Opening tip controlled by the Sycamores, and they will move from right to left across your GCU TV screen. Here in the first game of the 4-game, 2-day GCU Thanksgiving Showdown right here at GCU Arena. In the corner is Reagan Wetland. She'll drive, she'll spin, put it up off the glass, and it rolls off, and it's Balagay able to retrieve the rebound, and here come the Lopes for the first time on offense. Lauda Pieta, who runs the show, the native of Barcelona, Spain, and now she and her fellow Spaniard Balagay not on the same page as Pieta went inside. Balagay threw it where she was. So the first turnover of the game, and that is a concern so far, Alex, for Nicole Powell. It's a young team, and she knows this is going to happen, but they're averaging 19 turnovers a game.
Fortunately, it's Sycamore's team that's averaging 20 turnovers per game, so that's really beneficial, and they're similar in that aspect.
Nicole Powell, arms crossed, in her second year in front of the GCU bench as the head coach. Stop and pop for the leading scorer on his team, Ashley O'Neill's not good, but it's recovered by Isaiah, and the Sycamores will have a second try. Here's Webb, start to drive to the right side, now double teamed. Miller comes over to help, pass in the lane, and a bank shot up and in by Kiara Isaiah. Good ball movement without the ball by the Sycamores. So Indiana State strikes first blood. It's 2-0. We played just over a minute here in the first quarter. Kick in the corner for Veris. Open look. Akula fires up a 3. That's off the mark. And coming down with it is Tamara Lee. And then she fumbles it as she brings it up court. Pieta able to get the steal, and then in frustration, Lee reaches in and picks up the first foul of the ball game for either team. Lopes in their home white uniforms trimmed in purple and gray. The Sycamores in their road royal blue trimmed in white. Pieta running the show is right now the lone healthy point guard. We'll talk more about that in a little bit. Pieta takes it to the right side, start to drive in, move across, kick it. And here's Veris with an open look for 3. Good ball movement by the Lopes, and that results in the first score of the game. Veris picking up where she left off. She had a good game against UNC Wilmington, and the Lopes have their first lead of the afternoon. Here's a drive inside by O'Neill. She'll kick in the corner. Another open look for 3, and Reagan Wetland responds for Indiana State by bearing the corner tray.
More good ball movement.
So both teams moving well without the ball offensively. And the Lopes, again, working off a deficit 5-3. Again, Piera drawing the defense. Akula and Veris on the left side. Akula can't get a shot off. Now Piera will call a play with 10 on the shot clock. Go down the baseline, and bodies falling everywhere as a whistle and another infraction on the Sycamores. Slow to get up that time was Ashley O'Neill, which has to be a concern for the interim head coach Luke Scheidecker.
Looks like we're going to see a lot of passing it down into the corner for GCU. Tavares.
Indiana State ballot number 3, Ashley O'Neill, her first personal.
O'Neal will be whistled for the personal, and the first free throws of the ball game upcoming for Pieta. Southpaw puts the first one up and not good. So far, the Lopes not shooting quite 50% from the free throw line on the season, and you saw you heard kind of a cheer as the first substitution of the ball game happens for the Sycamores, and that's for Alexis Delgado as the second free throw is missed and goes out of bounds. But Delgado, a homecoming of sorts, grew up in Towson, went to Towson High School, and then went to Phoenix College on the community college level and was the two-time conference scoring champion and a second-team All-American. Steal out front. Pieta out in front. She'll go to the hoop. Shot won't go. But a whistle and a foul as Wetland got her on the arm.
Nice anticipation right there, and she was off and running.
Pieta got it in mid-stride and was out in front of the pack, and that was all Wetland could do to stop the easy lay-in, and Pieta comes up holding her right hand. But Lauda will head back to the free throw line to try and tie it up with 7:19 left. Pieta straight and true there. Delgado, by the way, as we mentioned, out of Phoenix, 5'7", and one of the few seniors on this squad. Next free throw not good. And then on the rebound scramble, a whistle inside. And Angel Kent says we'll stay here. So a lane violation called on Indiana State. And Pieta will again have a chance to tie it up at 5. This free throw is good. So the first tie of the ball game happens nearly 3 minutes in. Jim Howell, Alex Larson, happy you're with us, spending part of your Thanksgiving holiday weekend. This is the first of 2 games for the Lopes in 2 days. Isaiah's shot off the mark, and then Balagay trying to tip over the top for the rebound. Loses it out of bounds, so the Sycamores will get another second shot.
Isaiah has some nice-looking shooting for him.
And they've done a good job so far in the early going of getting her open looks. Isaiah gets it on the baseline, gets it out front for Webb. Webb's going to fire a 3. That's off the back of the iron, but the tip comes out front, and Delgado controls, and ISU will have a third chance this time down the floor, but instead they throw it away. Delgado not on the same page with Tamara Lee and throws it into the GCU bench. It is late November, Alex, and that's always get-to-know-you mode whenever you have these non-conference games, and that's why they put them together.
Starting to see which players are going to be their stars and which are kind of role players.
Exactly. Nice hook pass inside. Akula got it to Miller. Miller bumped off the block, can't get the shot to go. 3.5 gone by as Indiana State comes down trying to go for the lead again. Webb come around to Isaiah's screen. Kick in the corner for Lee. Lee will drive on Varys, and then as she pulls up, a whistle and a foul. And Varys will be called for the hold. That'll be a non-shooting foul. Reset the shot clock, and a baseline inbound for the Sycamores. Webb wanting some help, better hurry. Now gets it on the corner for Delgado. Alexis will drive, has it knocked out of her hands. Beautiful play by Akula. And as the ball trickles out of bounds, last touch by the Sycamores. Great convergence that time by the Lopes. They had 3 people around Delgado when she put the shot up, Alex.
Yeah, they're going to need to play just as tough as defense as the Sycamores are.
Piera comes across the midcourt stripe, goes to the left side around a Balagay screen. Gives it to Akula straight away. Luke Scheidecker starting to get substitutes ready. They'll check in next time instead for Indiana State. Seeing daylight is Miller. She'll drive, put it up with the left hand. That one won't go. And Isaiah able to box out for the Sycamores defensive board. Delgado now playing point guard as she brings it down the right side. Comes around to screen. Bounce pass for Isaiah. Turn around, fake the shot. Powell wanted traveling, didn't get a call. And the shot's an air ball by Isaiah. Balagay with a rebound, and now the Lopes will come down to try and take their second lead of the afternoon, almost midway through this first half. Piera now double teamed, give it to Varys. Open look for 3, too hard. And the Sycamores will let that one just go lazily out of bounds. And now Indiana State starts to go to their bench. Lynn Tamas, who's a 6'3" freshman center out of the Netherlands, grew up in Amsterdam, and she'll be joined by Deja Smith. Smith, hailing from Gary, Indiana, stayed home to play ball. 5'10" freshman forward. So now Scheidecker trying to go with a little bit of size to see if maybe they can work it inside. Coming up front, O'Neal gives it off for Wetland. Back to O'Neal, sees daylight, drive inside, and as she goes up for the shot, Akula with the quick hands knocks it out of her hands and knocks it out of bounds. Indiana State will have it with 18 on the shot clock. Delgado looking to the right of her own basket. Looking, waiting, throws it out front. Here's O'Neal, fake the three, drive on Balagay. Now slips and falls, and Varys has got the steal. Varys comes down. She'll stop. Can't find anybody to give it inside. Back it out for Akula, and they'll go into their half-court set at the midpoint of this first quarter. Akula, left side. Piera, drive on Delgado, keeps coming all the way in. Fake, shoot, shot won't go. Delgado gets the rebound. She wants to run. Lopes scramble back defensively. Out front is Wetland. Give it in the corner. Open look for three, but that one's too hard by Deja Smith.
Sloppy first quarter from both teams here so far.
Well, and each team getting good shots, just not able to convert. Pass inside, deflected, goes to Balagay anyway, but she's double teamed. Throws it back out for Pieta. Pieta grew up in Barcelona. Balagay also from Barcelona, Spain. Varys, open look for three! Second time that Varys has been able to pull the trigger from behind the arc, and the Lopes have an 8-5 edge. O'Neal calls out a play as she crosses the midcourt line, off for Smith. Smith now for Wetland. Wetland will back it up, fire a 12-footer, but that's short. Balagay held her ground, gets the rebound. Akula running the point guard spot this time as Piera goes to the wing on the left baseline. Waits for a screen and gets it. Give it for Piera. Now lob inside for Deja Daniel, who's in there. She'll move, she'll put it up. Shot off the back of the rim, not good. Tamas with the defensive assignment that time. Inside drive all the way to the hoop. Goes Deja Smith. Gets knocked down, shot didn't go. But she'll have free throws, and that's bad news for Nicole Powell, as that's the second foul of the afternoon on Ven Laveris. So she's got to be worried about her leading scorer, especially Alex, considering that GCU has had to go with a shorter rotation than they'd like. They've got 13 players on the roster, but they have 4 different players that are not playing today, including their second leading scorer, A.J. Cephas, who's out for her second straight game with a concussion. I guess the silver lining on that, Alex, is that, as Nicole Powell said a couple of days ago at practice, that it's going to make sure that the players that are active, they are going to be in very good condition by the time conference play begins in January.
Yeah, and that's good because conference play is the most important part of the schedule. So if they're well trained in the first half of the season, they can be ready for WAC play and have an advantage on the other teams.
WAC play does not start until January the 2nd, so they have another month or so to get rolling. And so far, GCU perfect at home. They opened up the season with a victory over Incarnate Word on November the 9th. And then went to North Carolina and took it on the chin, courtesy of East Carolina. And then last week against UNC Wilmington, they had a great start. Both teams scored 18 points in the first quarter, and the Lopes stayed with UNC Wilmington until late in the first half. Got a late run, and then UNCW just exploded to start the second half and really never looked back. And that's one of the things I think that Nicole Powell has also talked about as far as the youth and learning each other in this team, is being able to be prepared when they come out in the first half, and then also being as prepared as they can coming out of the halftime locker room, Alex.
Well, we saw the Benedictine game, and that was a complete game, but then they couldn't really put it all together against UIW, so looking for their first real complete game here on the season.
As we mentioned, Deja Daniel in there for the Lopes. Daniel out of Killeen, Texas, 6'4" junior forward. And now Taylor Caldwell joining him on the floor. Freshman out of Bakersfield, 5'9" guard and an alum of Bakersfield High School. Smith fouled before the timeout. 2 free throws at the Indiana State free throw line, and the first one's good. 3 minutes, 31 seconds left to go here in quarter number 1. Smith makes them both. First free throws of the afternoon for ISU, and now employing a full court press. Here's Piera inching out of backcourt, gets it across the line for Akula, and now she'll slow it down as they get set into their offense. Miller moving quickly, moves inside, muscles it up and in. Nice play. Miller's gone to that well 3 times so far, finally able to get it to go on a nice aggressive move.
She's strong down low.
Out front, here's a kick to the side. Ty Battle's in there. Can't get a shot off, give it for Tamas. Tamas start right, start left, and then spin away from Miller on the 3rd move and gets it off the glass and in. Lynn Tamas. 10-9, Lopes maintaining that 1 possession lead. And now it's Caldwell running the point this time. Give it off to Miller on the pick and roll. She'll lob in the far corner for Akula, who's the open person. It's Piera who'll drive in, puts it up off the glass, score it, count it, foul, send her to the free throw line. Piera with the aggressive move, and the blocking foul will send her to the line to try for the 3-point play. O'Neal picks up the foul, and that is her 2nd foul, Alex. So both of the team's leading scorers now heading to the benches with foul trouble, as Ven Laveris already sitting on the bench for Nicole Powell with 2 personals.
That was a pretty big hit. I'm happy. It's impressive that she was still able to get that in.
And I think that's one of those where if it's outside the line, then it could very easily be called a charge. But Piera got to the spot first and is able to convert the 3-point play. Piera now 3 for 5 here in the early going from the free throw stripe, and the Lopes have their largest lead at 13-9. In the corner is Battle. She'll fire up that corner 3 and get it. Just like that, it's a 1-point game again. Battle off the bench, 6'1" sophomore out of Plainfield, Illinois, but so far likes to play out on the perimeter, despite that 6'1" size. Pieta off for Howard. Howard come around a hard Miller pick. Give it back on the pick and roll, but Tamas with those long arms able to get a hand on it. Knocks it away. It's a steal. Delgado spin inside. Give it for Tamas. Has it stripped away. Akula tries to save it. Instead it goes to Battle. Now an open look on the corner, and the 3-pointer is buried by Tamara Lee. And that's just bad luck, as GCU did everything right on the interior, but sagged too much and left the perimeter open. So Indiana State taking their 3rd lead of the afternoon. Lob inside, Miller double team, puts it up, won't go, gets her own rebound, follows and scores. And Sharon Miller starting to feel it on the interior. Tied for the 2nd time this afternoon, this time at 15 as we move towards the 1-minute mark of the first quarter. Entertaining so far. Delgado stops and pops from the free throw line and gets into the scoring column for the first time. She's one of 2 Sycamores that average in double figures on the season. She and O'Neal both between 13 and 15 points per contest. In the corner, open look. Howard will fire the 3. That's off the back of the iron, not good, and Battle able to get the rebound. Delgado comes down trying to extend this 2-point lead. She'll stop, fire a 3, and she'll get it. And Delgado accounting for the last 5 Sycamore points. And Indiana State now with their largest lead of the game at 20-15.
Starting to heat up.
Nearing the half-minute mark. Miller out at the high post. Gives it off for Akula. About 13 seconds difference between the shot clock and the game clock. Howard faked the shot. Now tried to throw it on a scissor pass on the interior to Miller, but Miller was backing up, and that goes out of bounds. So now Indiana State will have a chance to go for the final shot. Shot clock is off. They have 23.8 seconds in which to get a shot up. So Delgado will take her time and walk it out of backcourt. Pieta will meet her at the midcourt line. Game clock down to a dozen. Delgado around a screen. She'll stop. She'll fire another 3. She'll get it. And Delgado in the final minute has scored 8 points, and that's the difference. 4 seconds. Piera has to hurry. Gets across midcourt. Fires a desperation 3 that won't go. And the Sycamores finishing with a flourish, outscoring GCU in the final 2.5 minutes, 10-0, and they will take an 8-point lead into the second quarter. End of 1 here in the GCU Thanksgiving Showdown at GCU Arena. It's Indiana State 23, your GCU Lopes 15. Keep it here for more coverage on GCU TV.
I'm Brittany, and this
Hi, I'm Brittany Hallwin, and you should watch Ask GCU, where we answer your questions every week.
And the points don't matter. Wait, what?
Tune in every week for answers to the questions.
Where we answer your questions in a common. All right.
Tweet hashtag AskGCU to get your question featured.
Don't forget, this two-day Thanksgiving showdown continues tomorrow for the Lopes as they will wind up the tournament against LIU Brooklyn out of Long Island, New York. That'll be a 2 p.m. start, and we'll have it for you right here on GCU TV. Big flourish at the end of that first quarter by the Sycamores, Alex Larson. And when I say it's the Sycamores, it really wasn't anybody but Alexis Delgado. Had 8 straight points, and that's the difference in the game so far.
14-2 run over the last 2 minutes and 20 seconds, an 8-0 run in the last 1 minute and 15, and they've really been hitting their field goals. In the last 6 they've shot, they've hit them all.
So far, the Lopes have had to rely on 3 different people for their scoring. Ven Laveris, 2 3-pointers, but she's on the bench in foul trouble. And Laura Pieta with 5, and then Sharon Miller at the end of the quarter put up a couple of nice buckets on a couple of aggressive moves inside. She's got 4, and Delgado on the other side leads Indiana State with 8 points and scored all of them within the last minute and a half of the quarter. GCU with the ball to start the second quarter, and suddenly with their largest deficit of the afternoon. Nice pass, Akula to Miller, and Miller picking up where she left off in that first quarter, muscling up and in. She's got 3 field goals and 6 points. Out front, Kiera Azaya, give it off for Delgado. Can she keep the hot hand? No. And then on the rebound scramble, Wentland didn't have the inside position, went over the top for ISU, and she'll pick up a loose ball foul, and she'll become the second Sycamore to pick up her second personal foul, so that has to be a concern for Indiana State interim head coach Luke Scheidecker.
Yeah, and she must be feeling good. She took a shot with the defender in her face and still almost made it.
Again, Indiana State looking to press full court. Kavita Akula, Sharon Miller, Taylor Howard, Deja Daniel, and now Taylor Caldwell in the lineup for the Lopes as they're able to break the press momentarily. Here is Akula, gives it in the corner for Howard. Howard, the native of Houston, Texas. Inside for Daniels, start left, spin right, shot. Oh, wouldn't go. Bounced a couple of times on the front of the iron and wouldn't drop. Here comes Indiana State leading by 6. The drive, shot in the lane, rolls off for Tamara Lee, and nothing but white jerseys underneath for the defensive board. Howard running the point as Pieta getting her first breather for Nicole Powell's Lopes on the bench. Miller out at the high post, stop the dribble. Needs to get rid of it to somebody. Gives it off for Caldwell, who comes out to get the ball. Still a dozen seconds on the Lopes shot clock. Come around to Daniel, pick out high. Stop, stutter step, drive all the way inside, off for Miller. She's got a fire from 12, that one's flat. And then the tip for the rebound goes out of bounds. Last touch by GCU.
Yeah, not the player they wanted shooting it in that case, but she just had to beat the shot clock.
Ana Bolero Lopez making her first appearance in the Sycamores lineup. Lopes with a pair of Spaniards on their team, meaning Pieta and Balaguer, and Bolero Lopez grew up in Zaragoza, Spain. She's a 6'2" freshman, as Delgado continuing that hot shooting, and she's now got 4 field goals and in double figures with 10 points. Once again, the Sycamores with a 8-point edge. Here's Caldwell, sees daylight, drive inside, put it up as she tried to drive around Tierra Webb. Couldn't get the shot to go, but Webb goes down and takes the blocking foul. Second team foul in the first 2 minutes for ISU. And Caldwell will head to the line for the first time on the afternoon. First free throw is good. As we mentioned coming in, Lopes struggling from the free throw line in the first 3 games, shooting just 47%, but no such problem so far today. They're 4 out of 6. Daniel will check out, and Pieta got a quick breather. She'll check back in for the Lopes. Caldwell can't convert the second free throw, but Pieta, going over the top, almost was able to steal the rebound, goes out of bounds, and Indiana State will have it, leading by 7 at 25-18. Alexis Delgado brings it out of backcourt, covered by Pieta. Off for Webb. Webb finds herself alone but doesn't take the shot. Stop the dribble. Inside, here's Etta Lopez. She'll muscle up the shot. That one won't go. And the rebound goes out of bounds. Last touch by the Lopes. And it'll be a fresh shot clock for Indiana State. Neither team really able to find the range consistently.
Rebounds are going to be a thing that GCU needs to start picking it up because they need all the chances they can get.
Delgado, inside pass for Battle, had the spin move in the open look but couldn't get it to go. But Battle able to keep it alive, and Indiana State feasting on second shots. Here's Webb. Drive across the lane. She'll force up the shot, won't go. Caldwell goes down, and Miller around her, able to rip down the board. Pieta takes a look at her head coach to get the play before she heads to the opposite side of the floor. Comes around a screen, now double team. Who's alone? Inside, here's Miller. Move inside, give it to Akula. She'll fire up a three! Exactly what the doctor ordered. Akula gets into the scoring column for the first time and cuts the lead down to 4 for Indiana State. Here's Battle, high post. Waits for something to happen. Now that one's blocked. Caldwell, anticipating beautifully, just rips the three-point attempt by Tamara Lee out of the air.
Nice block.
Here's Akula. Comes around a screen out high. Here's Caldwell. Nice pass, and Miller moving well without the ball. Goes up for the shot, doesn't go. Gets knocked down by Etta Lopez. But Miller, even though she was double-teamed, knew she had the edge, and she'll get free throws as a result. So free throws coming after the timeout. 6 minutes, 35 seconds remaining before halftime. We got a good one here at GCU Arena. It's Indiana State 25, GCU 21. Keep it here on GCU TV.
You use the latest technology to treat patients, but your care and compassion is timeless. And as an RN, you delight in sharing. But there's always room to grow. Advancing your career means helping more patients and providing even more care. Grand Canyon University's online programs in nursing make it convenient for you to become the expert every patient deserves. Healthcare has made significant advancements, and GCU teaches you how to prepare for the future. By applying that knowledge, you're able to stay up to date with the latest medical technologies. And since GCU's nursing programs are online, you can access your program from anywhere. So you're always there for those most important.
Find your purpose at GCU, where advanced technologies drive education. Private, Christian, affordable, nonprofit. Visit gcu.edu/.
Well, the Lopes women's basketball team kicking off this two-day, four-game Thanksgiving showdown. Coming up at 2 o'clock this afternoon, LIU Brooklyn, who will be the Lopes' opponent to wind up the tournament tomorrow, will take on undefeated Cal Irvine. Still got time if you live in the Phoenix area to come on out and be a part of this one. And like the Lopes women's team, the Lopes men's team also participating in a holiday tournament at the Wooden Classic in Fullerton, California. They played Seton Hall last night, took a 2-0 lead, didn't lead again until there was just over 2 minutes remaining in the game. Took a 75-73 lead as Miller makes the first of 2 free throws here. And then saw Seton Hall run off the last 9 points for an 82-75 victory. Lopes will be back in action tonight in Fullerton. 7 o'clock start against the University of Utah. You can catch that game on ESPN3. You can also catch it with Michael Potter, the voice of the Lopes, on 1580 AM The Fanatic. And Delgado continuing that hot shooting with a little baseline jumper. She's got a dozen, and the Sycamores back up by 5 at 27-22. Here's Akula around the screen, finds herself alone for three! Back-to-back trays by Akula, and Akula has brought the Lopes back to within one possession at 27-25. Inside of 6 minutes remaining before halftime. Here's Laura Tamas out front. Hands off for Webb. Webb being covered closely by Caldwell. Can't get a shot off. Out for Delgado. They want to try and spring her free. She can't get a shot this time. Throws it out front for Battle. Shot clock at 7. They find the open person. That's Webb alone in the corner, but the three-pointer bangs around and comes out. Tough break. And now the Lopes with a chance to come down with a chance to tie.
Nice job getting that rebound there. They needed that.
Pieta stops at the top of the key, off for Caldwell, sees daylight, tried to dish it off for Miller, but it's off the knee of one of the Sycamores and stolen back by Tamara Lee. Lee stop in the corner, she'll fire up a shot, ill-advised, that one was flat. Didn't have much going, and I'm sure that was something Luke Scheidecker didn't want them to pull the trigger that quickly, and Lopes again with a chance to tie at 27-25. Caldwell around the Miller's screen, handoff for Pieta. Pieta now for Caldwell in the corner. Shot clock at 12. Open look out front, and burying the jumper is Taylor Howard. Her first scoring ties it at 27. So the Lopes, who were a little bit chilly to start the game from the perimeter, now starting to warm up. And they have come back from an 8-point deficit. Off balance jumper, in and out, stays out. And Pieta gets the carom. Lopes come down with a chance to take their first lead since they led 13-12. Pieta going into the half-court set, stop the dribble. Howard come around the screen. She's going to fire another one, but that one didn't have enough on it. Tamara Lee brings it down for ISU. Cross-court pass for Webb. Webb drive in, bumps into Miller. Miller thought she held her ground as the shot went up, but a whistle and a foul. And that will be the first foul of the afternoon on the Lopes starting center, Sharon Miller. Only the third foul of the afternoon for Nicole Powell. So for the moment, she doesn't have to worry about foul trouble, except for Veras, who's been on the bench since midway through the first quarter because of those two personals she picked up. But even though the Lopes have not had their leading scorer for all that time on the season, they have done very well in chipping away at this Sycamore lead as Webb goes to the line and makes the first to break the tie.
Well, right now, all GCU really needs to do is work on slowing down Delgado. She's got most of the points.
Next free throw, rim around won't go. Tamas and Miller battling for the rebound. Battle able to get it in the corner, drives the baseline, put up the shot, won't go. Tamas keeps it alive, but the tap out intercepted that time by Caldwell. Caldwell covered by Delgado as she comes out of backcourt around a hard Miller screen. Open look from 15, and that one will get the fortunate roll. And Caldwell with her first field goal gives GCU the lead back at 29-28. Webb inside for Tamas. Tamas double team and able to spin out of the double team. Puts it up off the glass and in. Nice move by Tamas, the native of the Netherlands. ISU swings back out on top. Caldwell outside the left arc. Defensive assignment belongs to Deja Smith. Drive inside, shot won't go. Smith comes away with the board. She wants to run. It's a 1-on-3. She's going to take it herself. Shot too hard off the glass. Tamas, the trailer, able to get it. Throws out for Delgado. Open look for three, and Delgado continuing to torch the nets. 8 points in the first quarter, 7 here in the second, and Nicole Powell wants a timeout. 2:54 remaining here in the first half, and the Sycamores back out on top. It's Indiana State 33, GCU 29, right here on GCU TV.
Curiosity fuels you. It helps you understand the world around you. It's your guide through life. So when you're ready for a fulfilling new career, let your curiosity fuel that change. Change is difficult, but Grand Canyon University's online degree programs in technology make it convenient for you to achieve your dream. While businesses are being transformed by artificial intelligence and analytics, GCU teaches you how to plan for innovation and make sense of the world. By applying that knowledge to today's most challenging problems and sharing your insights, you're helping to build a better tomorrow for you, your community, and your family. Find your purpose.
GCU able to break the press as we're inside of 3 minutes here in this entertaining opener of the GCU Thanksgiving Showdown between your Lopes and the Indiana State Sycamores. Pierre on the drive, fish it out front, open look, and the shot, nothing but net for Taylor Howard, who has come off the bench for a pair of field goals, and the Lopes are back within a deuce.
That was a high difficulty pass all the way behind her, but she was able to get it done.
Good court awareness by Pieta. Here's Delgado, who's been all everything in this first half for Indiana State. And then on the pass off, the Sycamores trying to spring Deja Smith free, but a moving screen will be called on Tierra Webb. Offensive foul gives it back to the Lopes. Indiana State this time deciding not to press full court. Piera gives it for Carla Balaguer, who checked back in during that timeout. Piera rifles it into the corner for Akula, who has to save it from going out of bounds. Shot clock at 12. Here's Pieta back out front, inside of 2 minutes remaining. Lob over the top, but Balaguer wasn't cutting to the hoop, and it goes out of bounds. And the Lopes really didn't have much going that offensive set. Luke Scheidecker, the interim head coach for today. First-year head coach Vicki Hall not with the team. She will return for the Sycamores next week. Inside pass, Tamas gets it, puts it up, shot rolls off. Balaguer held her ground defensively, and it's tracked down in the corner nicely by Akula. Alert play by the native of Bilai, India. Here's Akula outside the right arc. Lob for Balaguer. She'll move inside, split the defenders, and as she started to go up for the shot, took a shot in the mouth, it looked like. And free throws coming on the foul by Deja Smith.
Probably would have been best to pass it off, had 3 defenders on her. But now she gets the free throws.
Balaguer getting the start in place of A.J. Cephas for the second straight game. Cephas sitting out with a concussion. She's one of 4 Lopes that Powell's seeing on her bench in street clothes this afternoon. Balaguer's first free throw is perfect. And she'll get a chance to tie the ball game here with 1:18 left. Lopes at 1-2. Sycamore is shooting for their first 3-0 start since 2010. And Balaguer able to tie it up at 33. Final 75 seconds of this entertaining first half. Out front, Kiera Isaiah waits for Delgado to come get it. Here's Tamas. Tamas gets it to Isaiah, who was cutting across the lane, but she was bumped as she got the pass. That's only the second team foul of the quarter for GCU, as it'll be called on Akula. So it'll be a non-shooting foul underneath. Fresh 30-second shot clock for the Sycamores. 65 seconds remaining in the half. Quick inbound for Tamas. Tamas on the baseline. Turnaround jumper too hard. Delgado trying to tip over the top, but it goes out of bounds off of Alexis. And GCU will have the ball to try and get the lead back with exactly 1 minute remaining before halftime. Sycamores will employ the press again. Gets it to Balaguer. Balaguer up court for Howard. She'll back up. Thought about the 3, but instead they'll go back into the half-court set. Balaguer springs free from Tamas, goes inside, and then almost throws it away, and now does. Balaguer didn't expect the help to come defensively from the Sycamores and just had to get rid of it to avoid the travel. So now about 11 seconds difference between the shot clock and the game clock as Delgado brings it up for the Sycamores. Here's Webb. She comes around a screen and buries the 14-footer. Tamara Lee with her second scoring. And now the Lopes can go for the final shot of the half. They have 22 seconds to do it. Balaguer able to break the press. She gets it up to Akula. Akula decides to slow it up, as Nicole Powell says, one shot from the opposite side of the floor. Here's Piera dribbling, comes around a Balagay's screen with 8 seconds. Stop, throw it in the corner. Open look, here's Howard for 3! 1 point lead, and that's the way this first half is going to end as GCU able to close with a flourish and will take a 1 point edge into the halftime locker room at 36-35. And Alex, just like the Sycamores did at the end of that first quarter, GCU starting to warm up from the perimeter, including a pair of threes from Akula, and then that finishing 3 by Taylor Howard. And you can see starting to warm up since they only shot 39% from the field in that first quarter, but have brought it up to 50%, 12 of 24. And the important thing, I think, for Nicole Powell, the head coach for the Lopes, is the fact that they basically played most of that first half without their leading scorer on the season, Vin Laveris, who was on the bench with foul trouble, but was able to get some key performances from people like Kavita Akula and from Sharon Miller and Taylor Howard to really make that rally complete at the end of the half.
A pretty evenly distributed scorecard for GCU compared to the Sycamores. And if they can continue to have Pierre and Akula shooting well, they've got a good chance to beat this Indiana State team because they haven't been, they've been kind of streaky. So GCU can keep this up. I like their chances.
A lot of balance. Nobody for the Lopes is anywhere close to double figures, but that's not a bad thing because Howard off the bench with those late 3 field goals. She and Sharon Miller leading the team in scoring with 7 apiece. Then you tack on Varys' 2 threes from the first quarter. She's got 6. Akula with 2 threes in the second quarter. She's got 6. And then you've got Pieta with 5. I think Nicole Powell has to be awfully happy with that kind of balance.
Yeah, I think so. And they're also shooting 50% field goals. So compared to Indiana State, who's only shooting 38, that's a good trend. And they like to see that one head up more. They've missed 10 more, Indiana State has, than GCU has.
Well, they've been able to get some they were able to get second shots off of offensive rebounds, but a good majority of those were in the first quarter when they were able to kind of build that 8-point lead at the end of the first quarter. And since then, I think Nicole Powell has kind of told some of her bigs, Carla Balagay, as well as Sharon Miller, you've got to be able to box out better, and I think that's exactly what they've done, is they've been able to kind of neutralize that rebounding edge.
That's right. Out-rebounded by 7, 22-15, and that's not bad. That was the third Sanderson Ford key of the game is out-rebounding, but Indiana State has some size down there. GCU's just got to, not that they don't have heart, just, will themselves to get that ball and give themselves second chances.
And for Indiana State, it's a good thing they brought Alexis Delgado back home to Phoenix. She has 15 points, 15 of the 35 they have on the board, and nobody has more than 5 points after that. I think if Nicole Powell can get a way to defensively get Delgado in check, good things could very well happen for this Lopes team. Hey fans, now you can enjoy coffee and tea from the Grand Canyon Beverage Company in your own home. GCBC's locally sourced coffee beans and fine teas are available online at lopeshops.gcu.edu/GCBC. Again, that's Grand Canyon Beverage Company. You can get them online, or if you're on campus, one of 3 different locations here on the Grand Canyon University campus. Well, we're going to step aside and take a break, and we'll get ready for the second half. It is halftime here at the GCU Arena in the first game of the annual GCU Thanksgiving Showdown, and here's your score. The GCU Lopes 36, Indiana State Sycamores 35. We'll be back with more after this. You are watching GCU TV.
Our armed forces' heroism, courage, and bravery give greater meaning to what it is to be an American. Grand Canyon University honors you and pays tribute to you and your family. As a community, GCU celebrates your service, your sacrifice, and your commitment. God bless all the brave men and women who put our country first. We want to do the same for you. GCU puts you first with its flexible and convenient online degree programs. We salute you and thank you for your service.
Feel the thunder in the heart of Phoenix. GCULopes.com.
entertaining way to begin the GCU Thanksgiving showdown with a first half that had 6 different lead changes, and the last one was the one the home fans loved with Taylor Howard's three-pointer in the final couple of seconds of the first half to give GCU a 36-35 lead. Jim Howell along with Alex Larson. And Alex, your 3 keys to victory have kind of played out so far.
That's right. The GCU offense has found a way to get past this aggressive press defense of the Sycamores. Slow down transition they've certainly done, forcing them to pull up outside and then finally out-rebound. They're not quite there statistically yet, but they'll get there.
Lopes have never led by more than 4, but they have a 1-point lead to start the second half. We're underway as ISU moving from left to right across your GCU TV screen here in this second half. They have the ball to start it off, and Ashley O'Neal, who spent a lot of time in that second quarter on the bench with foul trouble, now back out there, and a pass is intercepted. Intended for O'Neal. Here's Pieta. Here she comes. There she goes to the hoop for 2. Lauda Pieta now with 7 points, and GCU with a 38-35 edge here in the first half minute of the second half. Out front, Reagan Wetland gets caught in the lane. Kicks it out for O'Neal. O'Neal scoreless on the game. She averages 15 a game on the season. Wetland will back up, fire a 15-footer that rolls around and drops through, and that's Wetland's second field goal of the afternoon. She normally averages about 9 a game. She's got 5, and it's back to a 1-point GCU edge. Same 5 that started the game for Nicole Powell's Lopes. Carla Balagay, then Laveris, Kavita Akula, Sharon Miller, and then Lauda Pieta. Going for the steal out front was Wetland, but Akula gets it back. Shot clock down to 10 for GCU. Hook pass inside. Here's Miller. She'll turn around, put it up with the left hand and get it. And that was the first time among her 9 points, Alex, that instead of spinning to the left and trying to bank it up, she turned around and went from the right side.
Nice touch, too.
Miller leads the Lopes in scoring with 9. Here is O'Neal around a screen. Open look, 14-footer short. O'Neal maybe with a little bit of rust since she didn't play very much in that first half. Only played 5 minutes before she got in foul trouble. Pieta out for Miller. Doesn't want the shot from three-point range. Back for Lauda. Pieta will back it out and reset. Still with 12 seconds to get a shot up. O'Neal with a defensive assignment on her. Here's Pieta as they spread the floor. Finds room inside. Put it up and banks it in off the glass. Pieta. 2 field goals here in the first 2 minutes. And GCU now with their largest lead of the afternoon at 42-37. Wendland to the left side. Here is Lee. Drive inside. Crashes into Balagay. Puts up the shot. Doesn't go. Balagay came over to help out and will pick up the blocking foul. That'll be the first team foul on either team to start this second half. And that will mean free throws for Tamara Lee, who is going to the free throw line for the first time today.
Lee completely smoked Miller with that crossover.
One of the things that GCU has done well is kept the Sycamores off the free throw line so far. That's only their 5th free throw of the day as Lee makes the first. Conversely, GCU getting to the line well. They were 7 out of 11 from the line, and that has to be a welcome sight for Powell since the team came in shooting under 50% as a team from the stripe in their first 3 games. Both free throws good, and now the press defense works. O'Neal gets the steal, puts it up, but can't get the layup to go. And it's Akula who corrals it on the side. Veras off for Lauda Pieta. Pieta moving quickly, sees daylight, and as she starts to drive, she's bumped and fouled out front, and that's going to be personal foul number 3 on Tierra Webb. So the starting backcourt of Webb and O'Neal battling foul trouble. And just like that, interim head coach Luke Scheidecker is going to send Webb to the bench, and the lady who had the hot hand in that first half for ISU, Alexis Delgado, makes an early appearance. Non-shooting foul, and Balagay has it out front. Pieta waits for a screen. Here's Balagay. She moves in, just kept on coming. Nobody got in front of her, and Balagay will lay it up and in for her first field goal. Lee out front, covered by Veras. Delgado comes out to get the ball. The Towson native working on Akula. She'll stop, can't get a shot off. Back out front for Lee. Shot clock at 14 for the Sycamores. Here's O'Neal. Open look for three. That one won't go. And one-handing the rebound is Miller. Nice play by Sharon. So the Lopes with a 5-point edge. It equals their largest, and Pietta trying to extend it here. Balagay working high-low with Miller. Out for Pietta. Fake the three. Drive in. Draw the defense. Give it to Veras. Open look for three. That's short. Piera fights for the rebound. Takes it away from Lee. And a fresh 30 on the shot clock for GCU. They haven't had many offensive rebounds today, but that was a good one by Pietta. Miller turns around, faces the hoop at the free throw line. Off for Akula. Here's Pietta. Can't get any room on the baseline. Pushes O'Neal away. Gets away with it. Give it to Akula. Three-pointers off the mark, and O'Neal underneath. Able to sky for the board. She wants to run. Streaks down the right side. Going coast to coast. Puts up the shot. It'll count. O'Neal, after the contact, able to put it in. That's her first scoring. And she draws personal foul number 3 on Venla Veras. Venla, who only played 6.5 minutes in that first half because of foul trouble, is back in foul trouble again and heads to the bench.
That was a hard drive and a nice job to keep the concentration and still make it.
O'Neal, the native of Wyoming, Ohio, trying to capitalize on the three-point play and does. That's O'Neal's first scoring, as we mentioned. She averages 15 a game to lead the way for Indiana State so far in this young season. Full court pressure by Indiana State. Pietta with a couple of seconds to get it back. She and Caldwell able to finally inch it into the front court. Here's Caldwell. Sees daylight. Nobody picks her up, and she makes them pay with the lay-in. 46-42. Lopes on top. Here's O'Neal. That one knocked away by Piera, but O'Neal goes down. Contact made, and O'Neal's going right back to the free throw line. That's the first personal foul of the afternoon on the Lopes point guard, Lauda Pietta.
For the Sycamores, Ashley O'Neal shooting 2 shots.
O'Neal, a 76% free throw shooter on the season. That's second best on the team. Back there for a pair, makes the first. Deja Smith will check in off the Sycamores bench, and Tamara Lee will get her first breather of the second half. And now Nicole Powell wants to counter. O'Neal's next free throw not good. And here come the Lopes with a three-point edge. Piera dribbling through traffic as she wants to go to the half-court set. Powell right behind her, the second-year head coach calling out instructions. Akula looks inside, can't find anybody. Give it to Caldwell out on the perimeter. Here's Pietta, another drive all the way to the hoop with the left hand. She'll score, and Pietta, the first Lope to get into double figures. She now has 11 and 6 in this quarter.
Tight defense doesn't seem to be phasing the GCU offense anymore.
Back to a 5-point Lopes edge. Wetland drive. Cut off by Balagay. Throws in the corner. Open look. Three-pointer Smith, no. Rebound tipped high in the air. Tamas trying to take it away from Miller, but can't control it on the baseline. Goes out of bounds, and the Lopes will have it. Taylor Howard, who really gave the Lopes a spark at the end of that second quarter, will check back in. But first, a timeout. 4 minutes, 53 seconds left to go in quarter number 3. And the Lopes maintaining the 5-point edge. It's GCU 48, Indiana State 43, right here on GCU TV.
Performance is your profession. You excel in bringing the best out of people. Through leadership and insight, you help others fulfill their promise. You share a unique bond with your family and cherish your time together. But you strive to take the next step in your career. GCU's online degree program in performance psychology will enhance your skills in helping others succeed. Master your craft in an online PhD program that puts innovation and technology at the heart of education. And you can do it all within a tight schedule without disrupting other aspects of your life. With a PhD in performance psychology, you'll have the tools you need to elevate your performance to the next level. When human excellence meets cutting-edge technology, business advances.
Find your purpose at GCU, where advanced technologies drive education. Private, Christian, affordable, nonprofit. Visit gcu.edu/
First of 4 games here in this 2-day GCU Thanksgiving Showdown coming up at 2 o'clock this afternoon. It'll be the Anteaters of UC Irvine putting their undefeated record on the line against LIU Brooklyn, who's looking for their first victory of the season. And then tomorrow, the 4 teams will swap opponents. And at noon, it'll be UCI taking on the same Indiana State Sycamores. And then your Lopes will close it out at 2 o'clock after the noon tip-off between UCI and ISU. The Lopes will host the Blackbirds of LIU Brooklyn. Again, that'll be a 2 p.m. start. Hope you come on out and support them in person. But if not, you can catch it right here on GCU TV. We'll have it for you starting right before the 2 p.m. tip-off. GCU with the ball and a 5-point lead. And full court pressure employed. And that time, Pieta wasn't paying attention. O'Neal with the easy steal goes inside. Shot won't go. 3 different shots put up by the Sycamores to keep it alive. And on the third one, a foul will be called. That'll be on on Taylor Howard. That's her first personal, but already 4 team fouls on GCU here in the first 5 minutes and 12 seconds of the third quarter. And O'Neal, 2 out of 3 from the free throw line already in this corner. Back to the line for a pair, misses the first. Carla Balagay got a quick breather off the GCU bench. She'll check in for Howard. And Deja Smith also back in for ISU. Indiana State won their first 2 games in thrilling fashion as O'Neal misses the next free throw, but the Lopes can't control the board. It goes out of bounds. Indiana State trailed at halftime by double digits in both of their first 2 games and were able to storm back against Marshall and then against St. Louis. It was a WNIT participant a year ago. Able to get a big third quarter against Marshall and then a huge fourth quarter against St. Louis to get 2 victories. And right now, down in a heap underneath is Akula. And so the GCU athletic training staff going to have to tend to her. So timeout for the moment. And a good crowd here at GCU Arena suddenly hushed as the Lopes tend to their fallen guard. So we'll take a break while they tend to Akula. Timeout on the floor, 4:45 left to go third quarter. It's GCU 48, Indiana State 43. Keep it right here for more live action of Lopes women's basketball right here on GCU TV.
I'm Brittany, and this is Ask GCU. Hi, I'm Brittany Holwyn, and you should watch Ask GCU,
where we answer your questions every week.
And the points don't matter. Wait, what?
Tune in every week for answers to be questioned.
Where we answer your questions in a common. All right.
I'm a professional hacker. Tweet hashtag AskGCU to get your question featured.
Sounds good. It's good.
You use the latest technology to treat patients, but your care and compassion is timeless. And as an RN, you delight in sharing it. But there's always room to grow. Advancing your career means helping more patients and providing even more care. Grand Canyon University's online programs in nursing make it convenient for you to become the expert every patient deserves. Healthcare has made significant advancements, and GCU teaches you how to prepare for the future. By applying that knowledge, you're able to stay up to date with the latest medical technologies. And since GCU's nursing programs are online, you can access your program from anywhere, so you're always there for those most important.
Find your purpose at GCU, where advanced technologies drive education. Private, Christian, affordable, nonprofit. Visit gcu.edu/online.
Came through drippin', drip, drip. Came through drippin', drip, drip. Came through drippin', drip, drip. Diamonds on my wrist, they drippin'. Ice. Came through drippin', drip, drip. Came through drippin'.
Mountain Dew Ice, a clear, refreshing lemon lime dew.
Performance is your profession. You excel in bringing the best out of people. Through leadership and insight, you help others fulfill their promise. You share a unique bond with your family and cherish your time together. But you strive to take the next step in your career. GCU's online degree program in performance psychology will enhance your skills in helping others succeed. Master your craft in an online PhD program that puts innovation and technology at the heart of education. And you can do it all within a tight schedule without disrupting other aspects of your life. With a PhD in performance psychology, you'll have the tools you need to elevate your performance to the next level. When human excellence meets cutting-edge technology, business advances.
Find your purpose at GCU, where advanced technologies drive education. Private, Christian, affordable, nonprofit. Visit gcu.edu/online.
Well, you see Kavita Akula walking off under her own power. She was down underneath the Indiana State hoop for a good 3 minutes. And I think that may have been an elbow that she took, Alex Larson, that you could tell the athletic training staff was being very careful with her and making sure that she had all of her faculties before they lifted her up on her feet.
Yeah, it seems like she was grabbing her eye and kind of writhing with her hands, her left eye. So, yeah, I think that's the best guess, but don't want to speculate on an injury ever, of course.
So out of that starting three-guard alignment for Nicole Powell and the Lopes, Van Laveris has been on the bench much of the time in foul trouble, just picked up her third foul earlier in this half, and now the question marks about Akula. Pieta has certainly taken the bull by the proverbial horns here in this third quarter. She has 6 of the Lopes' 12 points in this quarter, and so now the onus gets a little bit more on Pieta and people like Taylor Caldwell. And Taylor Howard is actually going to check in for Akula. Wentland goes to the line to shoot a pair and misses them both for Indiana State.
On that last play, there was an unsportsmanlike foul called on number 30 for Indiana State, Reagan Wetland. That was her third personal foul, second team foul on the Sycamores.
Doc Winiger telling the crowd that there was a couple of technicals called. And one of them was on the one who just missed 2 free throws, Reagan Wetland. Balagay is going to shoot the technicals for the Lopes, makes one, misses one. But in doing so, she gives the Lopes their largest lead of the game at 49-43. And now GCU is going to get the ball back at midcourt. Powell with a lineup of Taylor Caldwell, Taylor Howard, Carla Balagay, Lauda Pieta, and Sharon Miller. Pieta, the point guard, running the show, keeping the dribble going out front. Drives around O'Neal, now stop, hook pass for Caldwell. High post, here's Miller. 16 on the GCU shot clock. Piera start to drive, stutter step underneath, draws the defense, gets it out front, open look, Howard for 3! Akula and Howard have been the force from behind the arc in the second and third quarters, each with a pair of trays, and GCU now with their largest lead of the game at 52-43. Out front, Deja Smith wanted to get it inside, the pass knocked away, scramble on the floor, and a held ball is going to send it the other way. And the Lopes, who were plagued by very slow starts coming out of the halftime locker room against both East Carolina and UNC Wilmington, have had no such problem here this afternoon. And getting their hands in the passing lanes has certainly paid off. Caldwell will inch it out of backcourt. Tierra Webb with the defensive assignment on her. Howard trying to drive around Lee, and Lee held her. And that'll be personal foul number 2 on Lee. Only the third team foul of the third quarter on Indiana State. It'll be a non-shooting foul out front with 3:54 left. Howard off for Balagay. Balagay on the right wing. Wants to spin on the baseline. Now stops and couldn't hold her momentum as she inched backward and traveled with the basketball. Keep in mind, though, Alex, for a team that was been averaging 19 turnovers in the first 3 games, that's one of the few they had. They had just 6 miscues in that first half.
Yeah, after that first quarter, they really started to heat up and gain their confidence.
Here is Lee. Hard screen set by Tamas. Going down as Howard. She gets back up. And as Delgado tried to dribble away from Caldwell, Taylor reached in and picked up the reach-in foul. And that will put GCU over the team foul limit. Nope, they say it's a non-shooting foul. So with 3.5 to go, Indiana State with the ball. Here's Delgado. This time, Caldwell with the clean reach-in, strips it away. Nice play by the Bakersfield, California native Taylor Caldwell. GCU threatening to get the lead to double digits. Balagay faked the 3, and then as she started to move around Wetland, she picked up the extra pivot foot and traveled. So back-to-back turnovers by the Lopes, and Ven Laveris, 3 personal fouls in all, will come in to replace Balagay. And Balagay will get a pep talk from her second-year head coach, Nicole Powell, as she heads to the bench. Here is Delgado. Stop, throw it out front. Wetland sees daylight. She'll drive. Shot knocked away, but Wetland goes down hard. And Taylor Howard will be whistled for her second personal here in this quarter. Reagan Wetland will head to the line for the second time in this quarter with 2:59 left. Tomorrow it's LIU Brooklyn for your Lopes, 2 p.m. with the tip-off. We'll have it for you right here on GCU TV. And then after that, they head back out on the road. They'll take on UC Santa Barbara next Sunday in California. And then they'll be back here on Friday, December 7th, 2 weeks from today, against the Grizzlies of the University of Montana. Press defense works. Lee with the steal, scrambling to hold on, and as she was falling down, had to get rid of it to Delgado. And Caldwell is going to be whistled from the foul, even though she was on her knees at the time she committed it.
Yeah, it seems to be a lot of fouls being called, and in my opinion, just let them play a little bit more than this. But
well, I think Taylor was looking around saying, what did I do? So Tamara Lee back to the line, where she just made a pair. And trying to make this a 2-possession game, which she does with the first free throw. 2 minutes, 48 seconds left to go third quarter. Balagay with a quick breather. She'll check back in. And Ven Laveris, who Nicole Powell is trying to make sure doesn't pick up that 4th foul anytime soon, will check out. Lopes trying to even up their season mark at 2-2 and stay perfect here on their home floor. Lee makes them both. And the lead now down to 5. And once again, ISU with the press defense, which has been working here in the last couple of minutes of the third quarter. Pieta dribbling away from traffic, gets it to Miller as they cross the timeline. Caldwell will slow it up, comes around a screen out high. Here's Pieta. Pieta inch inside, goes up for the shot, and that's knocked away by Tamas. Block shot for Tamas. Pieta goes down, but no harm, no foul. And with 16 seconds on the shot clock, the Lopes will inbound to the left of their own bucket. Howard, quick inbound on the baseline for Balagay. Wants to get rid of it. Dangerous pass cross court for Howard. Here's Caldwell. Square and fire for 3, too hard. Long rebound belongs to ISU's Reagan Wetland. O'Neal calls out a set play. Wetland, the trailer, gives it off for Lee. Lee move across the lane, throw it in the corner for Delgado, being blanketed by Caldwell. Gets inside, draws the defense, and as O'Neal got the pass, threw up the shot as she was knocked down. Shot didn't go, but back to the free throw line goes ISU.
Well, they're battling back and erasing this deficit. GCU trying to get a double-digit lead now. It's certainly evaporated.
Second foul of the day on Piera. And O'Neal starting to feast. O'Neal and Lee have gone to the free throw line multiple times here in this third quarter. And O'Neal making them both. Suddenly that 9-point lead down to 3, and Lee almost comes up with the inbound steal, knocks it out of bounds. But the Lopes have to start taking better care of the basketball. Once again, Balaguer looking to inbound. Caldwell was open and then looked away. Have to get it to Pieta. She's double teamed. They get it out front. Now the Lopes have numbers, but Caldwell, Megan Howard, wants to slow it up and now throws it away. Delgado had the steal, then Piera knocked it away, and it goes out of bounds, and the Lopes get a break. They'll get the ball back. But the Lopes are not on the same page offensively, and Nicole Powell, sensing that, wants to take a timeout. So will we. 1 minute, 58 seconds remaining here in quarter number 3 of the GCU Thanksgiving Showdown. It's your Lopes 52, Indiana State 49. Keep it here for more exciting Lopes women's basketball right here on GCU TV.
Curiosity fuels you. It helps you understand the world around you. It's your guide through life. So when you're ready for a fulfilling new career, let your curiosity fuel that change. Change is difficult, but Grand Canyon University's online degree programs in technology make it convenient for you to achieve your dream. While businesses are being transformed by artificial intelligence and analytics, GCU teaches you how to plan for innovation and make sense of the world. By applying that knowledge to today's most challenging problems and sharing your insights, you're helping to build a better tomorrow for you, your community, and your family. Find your purpose at GCU, where advanced technologies drive education. Private, Christian, affordable, nonprofit. Visit gcu.edu/online.
Jim Howell, Alex Larson back here at courtside at GCU Arena for the inaugural game of the two-day, four-game GCU Thanksgiving Showdown. And the three-person officiating crew of Clark Stevens, Richard Waters, and Angel Kent really able to kind of keep their whistles in their pockets in the first half. But here in the third quarter, it's been a different story. In fact, GCU has already been whistled for 8 personals. That may not be the biggest concern, though, Alex, for Nicole Powell, because right now the Lopes just aren't taking care of the basketball.
No, and it doesn't help that Indiana State's really being more aggressive on defense. Obviously, full court press. GCU is really starting to struggle to get the ball up.
So Nicole Powell continuing to direct traffic with arms crossed across the way in front of the GCU bench. The former Stanford star and, of course, Mountain Point High School star here in the Phoenix area. Wants to see if the Lopes can take better care of the basketball and start getting some better shots. And that one will not happen that way here. As Pieta trying to lob over the top, it's knocked away. Delgado with the steal. And now the Sycamores with a 3 have a chance to tie. Delgado's been quiet offensively here in this second half ever since she got 15 points in the first 20 minutes. Inside pass, Wetland to Tamas. Tamas will put it up and in, and it's a 1-point game. Pieta driving out of backcourt. Now Indiana State will back out of the press. Pieta continuing to dribble out front. Shot clock down to 10. Balaguer out for Caldwell. Caldwell, high post for Miller. Turn around, she'll fire the 15-footer. That one's off the mark. And O'Neal with a rebound. Nothing but blue jerseys underneath for the defensive board. O'Neal looked like she carried the ball, no call. Able to save it on the baseline. Out for Tamara Lee. Here's Delgado working one-on-one on Caldwell. Lee, stutter step, stop in the lane. Pass for Tamas. Tamas back to the basket. 10 on the Indiana State shot clock. Inside of a minute left to go, third quarter. Indiana State trying to close strong like they did in the first quarter. Off-balance shot by Delgado. Not good. Inside, Caldwell fighting with Tamas for the rebound. Couldn't handle it, and it goes out of bounds. So Indiana State will get it back with a fresh shot clock, and now only a second difference between the shot clock and the game clock in the latter stages of the third. Delgado will inbound for Tamas. Tamas moving across the lane, works on Miller. Turnaround jumper's good. And Tamas using all of her 6'3" frame and gives Indiana State the lead back on a 10-0 run. And Balagay can't get it in as Indiana State's pressure defense forcing another turnover.
Couldn't even find a teammate to pass it off to, and the momentum has really swung towards the Sycamores.
So now ISU can go for the final shot. They have 19.4 seconds remaining, and the shot clock is off. In the lane, going down for the Lopes is Howard, and that'll be an offensive foul. That's on Lee, and that's her third. So Nicole Powell got Piera off for a quick breather, but she's going to bring her back in for this final play. Once again, the onus on Balagay to try and get it in cleanly. She looks, she waits, lobs it over the top for Caldwell. Now they'll converge. Double team, knocked away. O'Neal with the steal. Indiana State forcing another turnover. And now they throw it away. O'Neal had a pair of Sycamores on the opposite side of the lane and threw it between them. So again, GCU gets a break, and again we'll have a chance to get the last shot with 9.5 seconds remaining. Balagay in for Caldwell. Lopes have to hurry. Caldwell not worrying about the clock, and now she and O'Neal go down. And a blocking foul, I believe, is going to be called on O'Neal. If it is, that's her third, and that's also going to send both teams to the other side of the floor. That's a break for GCU. 5.6 seconds remaining. And Caldwell, who is 1 for 2 from the line this afternoon, will try and give the Lopes the lead back here at the end of the third. First free throw not good. Lopes 7 of 11 free throw shooting in the first half. Only 1 for 3 here after halftime. Caldwell for the tie. Not good. And the rebound to the side. Here's Wetland. Here's O'Neal all the way down. Puts it up at the buzzer and gets it. O'Neal, after being held scoreless in the first 2 quarters, comes out with 8 third quarter points. And the Sycamores, for the second quarter out of 3, finish with a flourish and take the lead into the final frame. End of 3 here at GCU Arena. It's Indiana State 55, your GCU Lopes 52. Keep it here for more coverage of the GCU Thanksgiving Showdown right here on GCU TV.
Our armed forces' heroism, courage, and bravery give greater meaning to what it is to be an American. Grand Canyon University honors you and pays tribute to you and your family. As a community, GCU celebrates your service, your sacrifice, and your commitment. God bless all the brave men and women who put our country first. We want to do the same for you. GCU puts you first with its flexible and convenient online degree programs. We salute you and thank you for your service.
Feel the thunder in the heart of Phoenix. GCULopes.com.
Back here at GCU Arena for the final 10 minutes of the opener of the GCU Thanksgiving Showdown. And GCU had a 52-43 lead in the latter stages of that third quarter, but the top of your 3 keys to the game, Alex Larson, was the Sycamore aggressive defense, which the Lopes had done a good job of neutralizing in that first 20 minutes, but that was a big change in the third.
Yeah, GCU just couldn't get the ball, even inbounded, really, once the Sycamores started doing that full court press, so they're going to have to figure some out. Hopefully they did right there in that break for the fourth quarter.
GCU had only 6 turnovers in that first half, but 8 in the third quarter alone. And Indiana State's going to start off the fourth quarter with the basketball with a lineup of Reagan Wetland, Laura Tamas, Alexis Delgado, Tamara Lee, and Ashley O'Neal. Here's Lee driving, pop from 8 feet and get it. And Indiana State suddenly in sync offensively. That's a 14-0 run, and they have a 57-52 lead. This time the Lopes able to break the press. Now the pass low, but Balagay able to get it back. Now throws it underneath. Underneath is Daniels. She'll lay it up and in. Nice pass by Balagay. Unselfish assist. And Daniel in the scoring column. And finally, GCU breaks the string. First minute of this fourth quarter. Delgado start to drive on Caldwell. Got the first step. And she's hooked by Caldwell. Taylor picks up her third personal foul. Change that, it's her second, but it'll be a non-shooting foul, and Lee will inbound it just to the left of our courtside location. Fresh 30 on the ISU shot clock. O'Neal yo-yoing the ball out front, drive on Pietta, kick in the corner. Wentland has to stop the dribble. They'll reset it, still plenty of time on the Sycamore shot clock. O'Neal calls out a set play, comes around a double screen, open from 15, that one's short. And Balagay able to swoop in to get the defensive board. Now the Lopes need to try for a good shot. Nicole Powell calls out a set play. Pietta stop the dribble out front. Here's Daniel at the high post. Turn, face the hoop. Looks for somebody to give it to. Here's Caldwell. Open look. Line drive. 2-point basket by Caldwell. She had her foot on the line. And suddenly the Lopes have it back to 1. And now an inbound violation as Wetland apparently stepped over the line. So the Lopes suddenly with a chance to take the lead back very quickly here in the first minute and a half of quarter number 4. Caldwell to inbound it to the left of her own basket. She looks, she waits. Gets it for Pietta in the corner. Lauda will bring it out front. Fresh 30 on the shot clock for GCU. Pietta stopped the dribble. Wentler with the defensive assignment on her. Give it to Caldwell. Looks at her coach to get the play. Pass deflected. Saved by Lee, but throws it to Deja Daniel, who alertly got in the passing lanes. And that will reset it for GCU and a fresh shot clock. Balagay holding it out front. Caldwell come around the screen. Drive inside. A lot of traffic. And a tie-up. Deja Smith make that Kiera Isaiah knew what she wanted to do and got both hands on the ball. Possession arrow favors GCU. No reset on the shot clock. 18 on the shot clock, 8:02 left in the game. And again, it's Caldwell. Beautiful pass inside. Balagay moving well without the ball, gets it, throws it in. And GCU with a 6-0 run of their own takes the lead back. O'Neal drive. Out front, here's Webb. Now for Lee as they go into their weave. O'Neal driving on Piera, crashes into Lauda, blocking foul. That'll be personal foul number 3 on the Lopes starting point guard. Team foul number 2 and a non-shooting foul for ISU. Now Nicole Powell wants to get Sharon Miller back into the lineup, but I think they're going to make her wait. Angel Kent, one of this 3-person refereeing crew, making sure everything's set on the scorer's table, and they will allow Miller to check in for Deja Daniel, and she'll match up against Tierra Webb. Inbound for Lee. She'll fire for 3. That's way too hard, but Wetland right there to get the board. A reset on the shot clock. Here's Webb spinning, looking, losing the ball, gets it back, and now a 3-second lane violation will be called as Webb came down with it in the lane and couldn't get rid of it. So a Sycamore turnover, and once again they'll press as Caldwell comes to get the ball. Now they give it off for Akula, who's back in there. The Lopes with numbers over the top for Miller, goes up for the shot, doesn't go, but a foul called, and that time the Lopes beat the ISU press, and it looked like a design play. They worked well.
Yeah, Miller was doing a nice job waiting there. That pass could have maybe been a little more out in front of her, so the defender couldn't get there, but nice job anyway.
And a welcome sight as Akula is back in after taking an elbow to the face midway through that third quarter. She was on the floor for several minutes, walked off under her own power, and apparently went through the protocol, and she's okay. First free throw not good by Miller. Balagay, Pietta, Caldwell, Akula, and Miller. That's the 5 on the floor for the purple of Grand Canyon University. Miller, the southpaw, with one more free throw, got it. And it's a 7-0 run by GCU after ISU had run off 14 unanswered. 2-point game, 7.5 left to go. Fasten the seatbelts for the finish on this one. GCU trying to strap Indiana State with their first loss of the season. GCU trying to snap a 2-game skid. Here's Tamas inside. Give it to the cutting Wetland, but the shot won't go. Tamas had the rebound, fumbled it, and now bodies on the floor and a held ball. And the possession arrow favors the Sycamores, so it'll stay on this side of the floor.
Wetland has missed 2 underneath in a row, so that's good for GCU. They want to get the misses late in the game.
She had an open look, but it was an off-balance shot. Delgado looking to inbound, better hurry, lobs it over the top. Tamas can't get it, but a holding foul is going to be called on Miller, who had the defensive assignment on her. That's Miller's third. Still a non-shooting foul. So reset the shot clock. And it'll be O'Neal inbounding this time. Looking, gets it on the side for Wetland, back out for Delgado. Now throws it away. Webb gave her a look and then cut inside, and Delgado threw it where she was. And now all of a sudden the turnover ratio is swung to the other side, where it's the Lopes forcing the miscues. Pieta, as ISU decides not to press this time, able to bring it across the time stripe with no problem. Balagay out the high post, driving on Wetland, all the way in. Scoop shot is beautiful. Balagay not to be denied. 9 points for Carla, and the Lopes back out on top by 4. So it's the Sycamores now forcing turnovers again. Akula with the steal, 2-on-1, off to Piera, to the hoop for 2. Transition working for Nicole Powell's Lopes. Time out, Indiana State. 14-0 run by the Sycamores, followed by an 11-0 run by the hometown team. 6:22 left to go in this one, and the Lopes are rolling. It's GCU 63, Indiana State 57. Keep it right here on GCU TV.
Performance is your profession. You excel in bringing the best out of people. Through leadership and insight, you help others fulfill their promise. You share a unique bond with your family and cherish your time together. But you strive to take the next step in your career. GCU's online degree program in performance psychology will enhance your skills in helping others succeed. Master your craft in an online PhD program that puts innovation and technology at the heart of education. And you can do it all within a tight schedule without disrupting other aspects of your life. With a PhD in performance psychology, you'll have the tools you need to elevate your performance to the next level. When human excellence meets cutting-edge technology, business advances.
Find your purpose at GCU, where advanced technologies drive education. Private, Christian, affordable, nonprofit. Visit gcu.edu/.
Turnovers have been the story here in this second half. The Lopes, who had just 6 turnovers in the first half, 8 in the third quarter alone, but they have taken better care of the basketball, Alex Larson, and they have forced 4 turnovers of Indiana State just in this first 3.5 minutes of the fourth. And as you look at the scoreboard, that's the difference.
Yeah, and the turnovers are leading to points after being up by 9 and watching Indiana State come all the way back from that to take the lead based on their defense. Now GCU doing the opposite, and hopefully they can keep this momentum for the rest of the 6:22.
Each team now with 14 turnovers on the afternoon, and the Lopes, who actually came in with only 6 steals combined in their first 3 games, have 7 takeaways today. Let's see if they can build on that as they have a 6-point lead, getting set defensively against Indiana State. Still not at the midpoint of this fourth quarter. Webb out front, thought about the 3, instead drives in the paint, stop, give it off for O'Neal. O'Neal, move on Piera. Her shot is knocked away. Pieta with the block and saves it from going out of bounds. What a play by the Lopes point guard. Caldwell into the front court. Indiana State now struggling to find ways to use their pressure defense. Hard pick set by Miller. Here's Akula, Baseline, Miller, fake, shoot, shot won't go. Good defense by Tamas. Indiana State comes the other way. O'Neal racing down the right side. Throw it in the corner, open look, Webb for three. Rims around, won't go. Balaguer had the right defensive position for the board. Pieta will slow it up. Webb with the defensive assignment on her. Now drives all the way. Coast to coast. No second wave of defense. Pieta to the hoop for two. 15 points for the native of Barcelona.
You got two other Sycamores standing around, just not wanting to pick up Piera, and she just goes in hard.
GCU is led by as many as 9. It's an 8-point edge now, and it's cut to 5 as the rotation didn't go out to O'Neal, and Ashley made them pay with her first 3 of the afternoon. And as Pieta tries to break the press defense coming out of backcourt, will be bumped and fouled by Alexis Delgado. That's only the first team foul of the quarter on ISU. So it'll be a non-shooting foul, and Akula will inbound it right in front of our courtside location here at GCU Arena. Celebrating its 7th year of existence here on the brand new GCU campus. And if you haven't been here for a while, we invite you to come out. Here's a steal. O'Neal at midcourt. Comes down, trying to get it over Piera. Forces up the shot, won't go. Lauda held her ground, gets the rebound, and then she's knocked down and fouled in the backcourt. Tamas will be whistled for that one. And give Lauda Piera a lot of credit after turning over the ball at midcourt. She stayed right with O'Neal and wouldn't give her an easy look. Again, full court pressure defense employed by the Sycamores, but the Lopes seem to be a lot more relaxed and comfortable with it in this fourth quarter. And just as I say that, Caldwell came down, took the extra step, and will be called for the travel. Taylor High, the Lopes assistant coach, along with Nicole Powell, on his feet calling out defensive instructions. Delgado out for Wetland at the high post. 4.5 left to go in regulation. O'Neal move across the lane looking for room. There is none. Balaguer now with a defensive assignment on her and a switch. Out front for Tamara Lee. Lee has to wait for Delgado to get it. Shot clock at 8. Delgado sees it, starts to move, covered by Pieta. Out for Wetland, shot clock at 4. Out for O'Neal, open look for 3, and she got it with 1 on the shot clock. O'Neal scoreless at halftime, already near her season scoring average. She's got 14 on the game. She averages 15 on the season. And it's down to a 2-point game again. We move inside of 4 minutes left to go in this thriller. Hope you're enjoying it on GCU TV. Lob inside. Miller tried to one-hand it, couldn't get it. Knocked away, stolen by Wetland. Sycamores with a chance to tie. O'Neal comes down, just throws an elbow into Balaguer, puts it up, and she's going to get away with it. The shot counts, and O'Neal will head to the line to try and give the Sycamores the lead back on personal foul number 2 on Carla Balaguer. First time we've been tied in this second half. 3:40 to go, and O'Neal trying to break the tie, and that's a 9-0 run now by Indiana State as they take the lead back 66-65. Pieta this time able to break the press rather easily. She'll set up in the half court. Comes around to Miller, screen out high. Caldwell looking for room. Pieta with 14 on the shot clock. Now she starts to drive, knocks down O'Neal. That's going to be an offensive foul. Pieta picks up her 4th. Nicole Powell with a grimace on her face in front of the GCU bench. She had the play she wanted, but O'Neal got to the defensive spot first. Now O'Neal running the point for ISU. Off for Delgado. Delgado around a screen. Akula fights through it, give it to O'Neal. She's had the hot hand, fakes the 3, drive inside, puts it up with the right hand, won't go. Miller with a rebound. Lopes need a hoop here. Inside of 3 minutes left to go. Pieta will slow it up as she crosses that midcourt line. Powell, thumbs up with the play from the sideline. Miller waits for Caldwell to get it. Sees daylight, drive all the way in, scoop it up. Oh, too hard off the glass, wouldn't go. And Wetland able to get the board for ISU. 1 point Sycamore lead. Wendland to the left side for Tamar Lee. Back for O'Neal. Pieta can't get around to pick. O'Neal springs free, goes to the hoop, scoops it up and in. And the big second half for O'Neal continues. She now has 19 points. Lead pass for Piera. They have numbers, but Laura decides she wants to pull it out. Here's Miller. Fake the baseline jumper. Drive in, double team. Give it off for Balagay. Fumbles, gets it back. Now it's knocked away, comes out front. Akula's got it. Gives it for Miller. Miller with 8 on the shot clock. Fake, shoot, score! Sharon Miller with her first field goal of the fourth quarter, and it couldn't have come at a better time. 68-67. Sycamores with the lead in the ball. We're under 2 minutes. Delgado drives on Akula, backs away, 12-footer short. Long rebound, back to Delgado. Now Delgado trying to play keep away from Piera. And Luke Scheidecker is going to call a 30-second timeout for Indiana State. So we will keep it here with 1:31 remaining in the fourth quarter, and the Sycamores holding on to a 68-67 lead. Well, Handel's Messiah returns to GCU Arena for the 7th annual holiday tradition coming up this week on November 27th. Join Grand Canyon University's College of Fine Arts and Production as they celebrate the true meaning of Christmas. Tickets are on sale right now. Just go to GCUarena.com. Grand Canyon University's College of Fine Arts and Production's performance of Handel's Messiah here at GCU Arena, November the 27th. Lopes come out with a defensive alignment of Pieta, Akula, Caldwell, Balagay, and Sharon Miller. Countering for the Sycamores, Ashley O'Neal, Alexis Delgado, Laura Tamas, Reagan Wetland, and Tamar Lee. Delgado and O'Neal running the point together. Indiana State trying to spread the floor a little bit. Shot clock at 15. O'Neal still outside the arc. Start to drive. Kick for Lee. Now to Tamas at the high post. Shot clock at 9. O'Neal stutter step. Drives in. Force up the shot. It goes out of bounds. Miller got a piece of it. O'Neal wanted the foul. Didn't get it. Indiana State's going to get it back with only 6 seconds on the shot clock. $1:09 left in the game. O'Neal looking, waiting. And the pass knocked away. Akula got in the passing lane to knock it away from Delgado. That took 2 seconds. Indiana State will now have it on the side with 4 on the shot clock.
Yeah, it's going to have to be a catch and shoot.
Delgado will do the inbound. Akula jumping up and down. Here's O'Neal with 2, with 1. Fires a desperation 3. It draws iron, doesn't go, and Miller able to track down the board. 1 minute remaining in regulation. Lopes with a chance to take the lead. Need a good shot here. Pieta dribbling out by the midcourt line. Delgado with the defensive assignment. Off to Miller on the high post. Back to the basket. And now Nicole Powell is going to call a 30-second timeout. We will take a quick one. 46.7 remaining in quarter number 4. Indiana State 67, GCU or 68, GCU 67 right here on GCU TV.
I'm Brittany, and this is Ask GCU. Hi, I'm Brittany Holwyn, and you should watch Ask GCU,
where we answer your questions every week.
And the points don't matter. Wait, what?
Tune in every week for answers to be questioned.
Where we answer your questions in a common. All right.
I'm a professional answer.
Tweet hashtag AskGCU to get your question featured.
Well, neither team in any problem with timeouts. They both have plenty. They both have 1 left. Now, Indiana State does have a foul to give. They have just 3 team fouls. 14 on the shot clock as Caldwell looks to inbound. Does so in the corner for Pieta. 45 seconds left to go in the game. Lopes trail by 1. Shot clock at 8. And as Pieta started to make her move, Delgado reaches in and fouls her. Again, Indiana State with a foul to give. But that will reset the shot clock. And with 41 seconds left, Akula will inbound it in front of her own bench. She looks, she waits, gets it from Miller. Miller way out on the perimeter. Hands off for Pieta. Pieta wants to be methodical with this. Now to Caldwell. Half a minute left to go. Lopes down 1. Caldwell to the corner. Throws it out for Balagay. Still a dozen seconds on the shot clock. Caldwell drives in. Kick in the opposite corner. Out to Akula. Fires a 3! Akula's third three-pointer of the game. Nicole Powell calls a timeout. GCU up by 2. Well, give credit, Alex, to Taylor Caldwell, who did a great job of drawing the defense on the right side, kicking it to Pieta in the corner, and Akula was left alone and made them pay.
Good job having the eyes up and seeing who the open player was. A nice job by Akula to get that shot off quickly before a defender could get into her face.
And would you believe, after 5 three-pointers in the first half, that's only the second one that the Lopes have been able to find the range on here in half number 2, but it couldn't have come at a better time. And they have now reset the game clock. They put 17.1 seconds on it. Shot clock, as you can imagine, is off. So now the Sycamores trying to draw up a play in the huddle, courtesy of interim head coach Luke Scheidecker, to either tie it with a 2 or possibly win it with a 3. Powell's defense has done a fine job here in this game, forcing turnovers, something they had struggled to do in the first 3 games. They had only 6 steals coming into the day. They have 7 here today in this game alone. Powell sends out Akula, Pieta, Caldwell, Balagay, and Miller. Countering for ISU, Tamas, Webb, Wentland, O'Neal, and the lady who will inbound it, Alexis Delgado. She'll inbound to the backcourt. 16.7 seconds left. O'Neal in the front court. She'll drive all the way in, puts it up off the glass and gets it. Ties the score with 10 seconds to go, and Nicole Powell will burn her final timeout. Well, it was a set play as they tried to get everybody out on the perimeter, and it worked to perfection as O'Neal got through the first wave of defense, and there wasn't anybody in the second wave.
Yeah, but if you're GCU, you got to be anticipating that it was going to probably be O'Neal to go in. There was no help after she had beaten her defender the first time.
Indiana State has scored 15 points in this fourth quarter. O'Neal has accounted for 13 of them. And we are tied for the 6th time today. And now we are 10.4 seconds away from a possible overtime. But Nicole Powell wants to try and avoid that. The former Stanford Cardinal great in her second year as the head coach of GCU, taking them to their first WAC tournament berth in their first year of WAC play last year, and trying to snap this 2-game losing skid and keep GCU perfect at home on the young season. Remember, tomorrow, Lopes back here to close out the tournament at 2 p.m. against LIU Brooklyn. Hope you'll be here, either in person or here at GCU TV. Caldwell looking to inbound. Gets it for Miller. Back to Caldwell. Down to 9 seconds. Taylor looking. Sees the clock at 6. Double team. Pass knocked away. Gets it back. Down to 2 seconds. 1 second. She'll fire up a desperation 3 that almost went off the back of the rim. Not good. And we will go extras. 40 minutes not enough to decide this one will go to overtime. End of regulation here at GCU Arena in the inaugural game of the GCU Thanksgiving Showdown. It's GCU 70, Indiana State 70, back with overtime here on GCU TV.
As a teacher, your calling was always to make a difference and positively impact the future. You live with a deep sense of purpose and strive to inspire generations of change. GCU's online Masters of Education degree program gives you the skills you need to grow and develop your career, while also making sure you have time for yourself and your family. Today, you can learn anywhere and anytime, giving kids a look into the technological advances that pushed you forward. Being strong and compassionate makes you a role model through this formative period in their lives. You're not just inspiring future generations of leaders and innovators to reach for their dreams. You're giving them the tools they need to achieve them.
Find your purpose at GCU, where advanced technologies drive education. Private, Christian, affordable, nonprofit. Visit gcu.edu/online.
Back here at GCU Arena, and it has been a second half of nothing but runs. Indiana State running off 14 unanswered. GCU came back with 11 straight, and since then it's just been one run after another. GCU had a 70-68 lead in the final half minute. Ashley O'Neal with the drive to tie it. And Taylor Caldwell's desperation three at the buzzer just went a little bit awry. So now we go to a 5-minute overtime. Jim Howell, Alex Larson back here at the arena. Lopes with a lineup of Sharon Miller, Carla Balagay, Lotta Pieta, Taylor Caldwell, and Kavita Akula. Balagay jumping center at midcourt with Laura Tamas. And it will be Indiana State controlling the tap. Again, moving from left to right. O'Neal's had the hot hand, but that one's short. Rebound tipped out front. Delgado's got it. O'Neal with 21 points, all in this second half. O'Neal to the left side, out for Wentland. They play catch out front. O'Neal drives, trying to get it for Tamas, but it's too high. Off her hands, and Akula's got GCU's 8th steal. Make it their 9th. Pieta inches out of backcourt, takes it to the right side with a dribble. Around a Miller's screen. Here's Sharon on the right elbow. Double team momentarily. Shot clock at 10. Gets it for Caldwell. Caldwell, drive the baseline, stop. Tried to throw it in the corner, but this time O'Neal anticipated, made the steal. And then O'Neal has her pocket pick from behind. Caldwell got a hand on it. Pieta comes down 2-on-1. Here's the lob for Balagay. Over to Pieta. Open from 12. Got it. Lauda Pieta with a big second half. She's got 17 points and able to break the tie here in the first minute and a half of overtime. Delgado, 15 points, but she's been scoreless since the break. Off to O'Neal. Wetland straight away. Shot clock at 10 for Webb. Drive all the way in. Lee's pass knocked away. Scramble inside. Miller's got it. Another GCU forced turnover.
Not the time for the turnovers for each team.
And that has certainly had a direct correlation as to who's had the momentum. The turnovers have come in bunches this afternoon. Balagay at the high post, looking inside, trying to get it to Miller, does. Here's Sharon, 8 on the shot clock. Wants to get rid of it, out for Pieta, shot clock at 4. Pieta around a screen. She's gonna fire a 3, but it's too hard. And it's Lee with the defensive rebound. Sycamores come down again with a chance to tie. 2 minutes gone in overtime. Lee for 3, got it. Tamara Lee, her first three-pointer since the first quarter. And that pass is knocked away. Wetland gets it right underneath and scores. And the Sycamores come right back with 5 straight. Again, press defense making a difference for Indiana State when they have been able to get easy points. Akula with 2:25 left to Miller. Miller back to the basket, waits for Piera. Pieta, drive, now has it knocked away as she went up for the shot. O'Neal reached in, and if she's the guilty party, that is her 4th. It is. So both point guards for each team in danger of disqualification. Pieta with 4 fouls, O'Neal with 4 fouls. And Pieta to the line with 2 huge free throws with 2:17 left, and the first free throw's good. Lauda was 3 for 5 free throw shooting in the first quarter. This is her first free throws since. Next free throw's not good. Indiana State with the ball and a 2-point lead as we move towards the 2-minute mark of overtime. Hope you're enjoying this one. How could you not? O'Neal yo-yoing the ball out front, waiting for a double screen. Tried to get around it, but Pieta fights through it. Pieta staying with her. Got to be careful with those 4 fouls. Here's Lee. Lee, drive around Caldwell. Here's Wetland. Wetland to the free throw line. Knocked away. Balagay had the quick hands, and Akula finished the steal. Minute 45 left to go. GCU needs a hoop to tie. Caldwell calls out a play, comes around a Miller screen. Stop and pop from 15, got it! Taylor Caldwell off the bench now with 9 points. And we are tied again. 7th time we've been knotted up, this time at 75.
Nice play and nice execution off that pick.
O'Neal waiting for the screens to come. Goes to the left side, give it to Wentland. Wanted to get it inside for Tamas, now Lee Will. Here's Laura, outside for O'Neal, straightaway 3, that one won't go. Rebound, pinballed around, comes to the side, Miller able to track it down. Double team. Here's Caldwell, outlet pass for Akula, and Kavita says let's slow it up. We're under a minute. GCU trying to take their second lead of the OT. Shot clock at 10. O'Neal covering Pieta way out front between the circles. Now Pieta will drive, kick outside. Akula, square and fire for 3, won't go. And Delgado with a rebound. Delgado coming out of backcourt. 33 seconds to go, and interim head coach Luke Scheidecker will call it 30-second timeout for his Sycamores. We will keep it here. 7 seconds difference between the shot clock and the game clock. We were tied at 70 at the end of regulation and tied at 75 here.
These two teams are extremely evenly matched, and they've been playing very similar the whole game.
Well, and the turnovers have been the factor all through this second half. It seems whoever has been able to force steals usually has been able to force them in bunches, and it has been a game of streaks because of that.
20 turnovers for GCU, 19 for Indiana State. That's flopped for the season average. 19 turnovers averaging for GCU and 20 for Indiana State, but right up to what they usually are doing here.
Well, and I think one of the things that Lopes head coach Nicole Powell has to be really pleased at, we've mentioned a couple of times that in the first 3 games combined, the Lopes had just 6 steals, but her young crew has done a great job of keeping their hands in the passing lanes, really moving well side to side defensively, and they've been able to force those turnovers via that fashion.
12 steals for the Lopes, 11 for Indiana State. Each team has done a great job anticipating, but that also says something about the passes, maybe a little bit lackadaisical.
Reagan Wetland will inbound right in front of our courtside location. 33.2 seconds left to go here in overtime, number 1. And she'll inbound it to O'Neal in the backcourt. Again, 7 seconds difference between the shot clock and the game clock. And apparently they want to milk it as much as they can. Pieta giving O'Neal some space. Anticipating the screen, and here it comes from Tamas. O'Neal will go the other way. Drives in, puts it up off the glass, shot won't go. Pieta fighting for the rebound, goes out of bounds. Last touch by GCU. And Tamas is down underneath the basket holding her ankle. Scheidecker's not going to take any chances. He'll get Deja Smith to check in for his 6'3" center, presumably, who is up but limping noticeably on that left leg. And a timeout is going to be called, so we will take a quick one. 11.6 seconds remaining, 75 all here in overtime. GCU and Indiana State on GCU TV.
I'm Brittany, and this is Ask GCU. Hi, I'm Brittany Holwyn, and you should watch Ask GCU,
where we answer your questions every week.
And the points don't matter. Wait, what?
Tune in every week for answers to be questioned.
Where we answer your questions in a common. All right.
I'm a professional hacker.
Tweet hashtag AskGCU to get your question featured.
Game of the GCU Thanksgiving Showdown. Jim Howell along with Alex Larson. Here's the scenario. 11.6 seconds left to go in overtime. Indiana State will have the ball. Shot clock is off in a 75-75 tie. Remember, coming up whenever we decide to end this first game, it'll be the other 2 teams involved in this 4-team classic. UC Irvine undefeated so far on the season, taking on winless LIU Brooklyn. And speaking of the Blackbirds of LIUB, they will be GCU's opponent tomorrow right here as the Thanksgiving Showdown continues. 2 p.m. with the tip-off. You can catch it right here on GCU TV. And don't forget, tonight, second game for Dan Marley's Lopes men's team in the Wooden Classic in Fullerton, California. Losing a tough one to Seton Hall yesterday, 82-75. Seton Hall closing out that game on a 9-0 run. So GCU will try and get their first win of the tournament. Tonight at 7 p.m., they'll take on the Utes of the University of Utah. You can catch that game either on ESPN3 or catch it on 1580 The Fanatic with the radio voice of the Lopes, Michael Potter.
Good call to go review that. I mean, even if nothing changed, it's such a crucial part of the game.
Well, we were obviously blocked out, so it was hard to tell with Pieta and O'Neal on the floor which one touched it last, but they apparently confirmed that it is Indiana State ball, so O'Neal will inbound it. Gets it out front for Smith. Now for Delgado, 9 on the clock. Here's O'Neal, backs up, doesn't take the three, drive in, force up a shot, wanted a foul, didn't get it. Miller with the rebound, and a timeout, Grand Canyon with 2.7 seconds left. And that is the last timeout of the overtime for either team. And Luke Scheidecker, the interim head coach of the Sycamores, looking at all three of the referees, wanting to know where the call was, but I think that was an easy no call to make, Alex, because it was O'Neal who forced the contact and forced up a wild shot. That's one of those you're not normally going to bail out the person initiating the contact.
Absolutely, I mean, just from the start, you could tell where the ball was going and who it's going to. It's O'Neal. I mean, 2 different shots. She tried to make something happen and just didn't really have much, so she should have passed it off. Good job by GCU to know what was coming.
And also a good job by Balagay to make sure that she didn't bring her arms down and take the chance that that contact could be made. She had good defensive position. So now the onus goes to the Lopes offense, and Nicole Powell with her team out on the floor diagramming a play, along with assistant coaches Nikki Blue, Taylor High, and Brad Langston. This is by far and away the closest game that the Lopes have participated in so far in the young season. They won by 11 points in the home opener against Incarnate Word, and then lost by 12 and then 22 points in their road trip in North Carolina. But for Indiana State, this is no big deal. They've had second half comebacks in each of their first 2 games. Caldwell will inbound it right in front of her own bench. 2.7 seconds remaining. Looking, gets it in the corner. Akula fires his 3, that won't go. Delgado with a rebound, and we will go to a second overtime here at GCU Arena. End of overtime number 1. Here in the GCU Thanksgiving Showdown, it's Indiana State 75, GCU 75. Keep it here for more coverage of Lopes women's basketball right here on GCU TV.
Performance is your profession. You excel in bringing the best out of people. Through leadership and insight, you help others fulfill their promise. You share a unique bond with your family and cherish your time together. But you strive to take the next step in your career. GCU's online degree program in performance psychology will enhance your skills in helping others succeed. Master your craft in an online PhD program that puts innovation and technology at the heart of education. And you can do it all within a tight schedule without disrupting other aspects of your life. With a PhD in performance psychology, you'll have the tools you need to elevate your performance to the next level. When human excellence meets cutting-edge technology, business advances.
Find your purpose at GCU, where advanced technologies drive education. Private, Christian, affordable, nonprofit. Visit gcu.edu/.
Been a pretty even game all the way around. GCU led by 1 point at halftime, 36-35, and then a game of streaks in the second half, ending in a 70-all tie. Each team scoring 5 points in the first overtime stanza, and that's where we are. 75-all. Jim Howell, Alex Larson back here in the first game of the GCU Thanksgiving Showdown. Scoring leaders for each team, Lauda Pieta with a big second half. 13 of her 18 points coming after the break. Sharon Miller with 12 points, and Taylor Howard also in double figures with 10. And on the Indiana State side, Ashley O'Neal scoreless at halftime, but the team's leading scorer on the season with 21 points since. Alexis Delgado the other side, 15 points, and all of them in the first half. And Tamara Lee with 14 points, also in double figures. Again, we will jump it up at midcourt. Carla Balagay for the Lopes, Laura Tamas, two international players for Indiana State. And once again, it's the Sycamores controlling the tap. Here's Delgado, covered by Akula. Akula has done a great job since coming back in after getting an elbow in the third quarter defensively on Delgado. Drives in, Delgado now double team, has the ball knocked away, tried to outlet it, and Pieta jumps up and rips it out of the air. Steal number 13 on the afternoon for Grand Canyon. Lopes struck first blood offensively in the first overtime. Let's see if they can do it again. Caldwell, now covered by Tamas in a switch. Wants to work it inside, instead kick for Balagay. Fake the three, drive all the way in, and then throw it away. Thought Akula was in the corner, and instead threw it past her. So each team starting off the second extra stanza with a turnover. O'Neal, Wentland, Tamas, Delgado, and Lee. 5 on the floor wearing the royal blue of Indiana State. Here is Lee out front, covered by Miller in a switch. Back for O'Neal. O'Neal covered by Pieta. They give it to Delgado. 10 on the shot clock. She'll drive in, stop and pop from 6 and get it. That's her first scoring since the second quarter. And Delgado breaks the tie at 77-75. And now a foul called in the backcourt. Both teams in the bonus, and that foul is on Ashley O'Neal. She's gone. Huge loss for the Sycamores as O'Neal with 21 points fouls out of the ball game with 3:46 left to go in the second overtime. So Taylor Caldwell to the other side of the floor for free throws. First one's not good. Now, Angel Kent, one of the 3-person officiating crew over at the scorer's table, conferring with the official scorebook. And now they're saying O'Neal has just 4 personal fouls. And now the officials are going to make sure that they're right. I have it for 5, and the scoreboard on the big screen has had her with 4 personal fouls for more than a quarter. So now they're going to double check, and of course, the Sycamores' positive fate in some ways, Alex, hangs in the balance on this one, considering what a spark plug O'Neal has been this entire second half and overtime.
Yeah, well, if it's confirmed, that would be big for GCU. Of course, hasn't really done much as far as point scoring, but she has definitely initiated some offense in overtime so far.
So the referees continuing to confer. O'Neal is still on the floor. And now Clark Stevens is coming over to talk to interim coach Luke Scheidecker, as they are conferring, I think, with just about every scorebook to make sure they have this right. And this is obviously a big call. Good crowd on hand, and glad that you decided to take a little time away from your Black Friday shopping to be with us. Hope you had a happy and safe Thanksgiving holiday, and we're glad you're spending part of your weekend with us, and even more of your weekend than you predicted, as we are now nearing the 2-hour and 20-minute mark of this game. Intense discussion going on between Scheidecker and Clark Stevens. And the wait continues. And Nicole Powell in the GCU huddle just trying to make sure that her charges are on the same page. When we do finally get back to live action, Taylor Caldwell will have one more free throw at the Lopes free throw line. And Scheidecker now getting much more demonstrative with the officiating crew. Again, Lopes men's basketball tonight in Fullerton at the Wooden Classic against the University of Utah. You can catch that on the radio at 1580 The Fanatic with the radio voice of your Lopes, Michael Potter. Starting at 7 o'clock, you can also catch it on ESPN3. And then tomorrow we'll have the Lopes' second and final game of this showdown at 2 p.m. against LIU Brooklyn. And they have confirmed that O'Neal is fouled out of the ball game. So now we know why Scheidecker was so upset. So she fouls out with 21 points. And Taylor Caldwell, with 3:46 left to go in the second overtime, trying to salvage one of the two free throws at the Lopes charity stripe. And does. So a 1-point game. Indiana State with the lead and the basketball. So Alexis Delgado now going to run the point the rest of the way. Off for Tierra Webb, who replaced O'Neal in the lineup. Stops the dribble, give it to Delgado. Lopes have extended their defense out past the line. Here's Lee. Lee drive on Miller. Move inside, a lot of traffic. Has it knocked away. Goes, gets it back. Shoots and scores. Tamara Lee. The Lopes had three different defenders around her, but nobody was able to get the board. 3-point Sycamore lead. Nearing the 3-minute mark of the second OT. Pieta off for Miller at the high post. Hands off for Caldwell. Caldwell will drive, put up the shot off the glass and get the roll. Caldwell with all of the points so far in this second overtime for Grand Canyon. 1-point game again. Inside of 3 minutes. Inside low block, Tamas turn around, put it up, won't go. Balagay with good defense, she got the board. Pieta racing down the left side, but the Sycamores are back defensively. Nicole Powell calls out the set play. 2:35 left to go in OT. Pieta around a screen. Stop. Bounce pass for Miller. Fake. Shoot. Shot won't go. Gets her own rebound. Follows. Score it. Count it. Foul. Send her to the free throw line. Miller staying with the play and was able to muscle it up over Tamas and get the second shot to go. Foul called on Tamara Lee. That is her fourth. And Miller with a huge free throw at the GCU line and converts it. Miller now with 15 points. And suddenly, for the first time in the second OT, GCU with the lead. 2:20 to go. Webb out front, give it to Delgado. She's open for a minute, and the three-pointer is good. Delgado with 20 points, 5 here in the second overtime. And ISU swings back out on top by 1. Pieta yo-yoing the ball out front. 2 minutes left to go in the OT. Hope you're enjoying this one. Pieta out front for Caldwell. Shot clock at 10. Low block again for Miller. Start right, spin left. Turnaround shot won't go, but she's knocked down and fouled. Tamas the guilty party this time. Both teams have been in the bonus since the end of regulation. And Miller, who just converted a three-point play at the line a moment ago, back there for 2 more. First free throw, not good. Lopes were 7 of 11 from the free throw line in that first half, but have struggled a bit since. Next free throw to tie it. In and out. Still a 1-point Indiana State lead. Minute 45 to go. Delgado looking at her head coach, wanting to know what the play is. Delgado now directing traffic as she gets on the attacking zone side of midcourt. Webb with 12 on the clock, comes around a screen, stops at the free throw line, throws it in for Lee. Lee will drive around the defender, puts it up off the glass, won't go, but a whistle and a foul from behind. That foul is on Caldwell. And Caldwell now joins Pieta at the 4-foul plateau. At the line, first free throw good by Lee. Lee, a perfect 5 for 5 from the stripe today. 85 seconds remaining in the second overtime. Lee trying to make it a three-point game and does. 84-81. Lopes don't need a three yet. Here's Caldwell being hounded by Webb out front. Starts to drive, keeps coming, throws it cross court. Pieta controls it, drives in, spins, force up the shot, won't go. Wanted a foul, didn't get it. Delgado with the ball for Indiana State. Trying to take a two-possession lead with exactly 60 seconds left. And Scheidecker says, let's use some clock. Shot clock at 12, game clock at 50. Tamas comes out to set a screen. Delgado drives around, keeps coming, puts up the off-balance shot. It won't go, but a late whistle, and a foul's going to be called on Carla Balaguer. And Alexis Delgado, who on the season is a 50% free throw shooter and has not gone to the line yet today, will go to the line for a pair. And the first free throw is perfect. Delgado, when she was at Phoenix College, one of the best free throw shooters in the conference, and shows it there. And now the Lopes have to hurry. Down 5 with 42 seconds left. Pieta for Caldwell. Caldwell at the free throw line. Drive in, put up the shot. It won't go. A lot of contact, no call. And now the Lopes have to foul, and Miller will oblige in the backcourt on Webb with 29 seconds remaining.
Well, at some point, someone had to get the advantage. And even with O'Neal out, it seemed like that was the spark that Indiana State needed.
I think you're right. Well, and Delgado, who had been very quiet since the first half, sprang into action when her backcourt mate got disqualified. First free throw by Webb, not good. That's good news. Delgado has scored 7 of her 22 points here in the second overtime. Next free throw, not good. Balaguer with it. Now the Lopes with one timeout left, but have to hurry. Pieta into the front court, spinning on Delgado. Comes around a screen, looks for room, almost traveled. Give it to Miller. She'll drive on Delgado, go to the hoop, shot won't go. Foul on Alexis Delgado. That will send Miller to the line, stop the clock with 14 and a half seconds. And I don't have to tell you how important these free throws are for Sharon. Miller on the day, 3 out of 7 from the stripe. First free throw, not good. Miller's been one of the main offensive focuses here in this second overtime. Needs to deliver here. Free throw, short. Rebound, Indiana State. And now all they have to do is play keep away, as Caldwell will foul Lee in the backcourt. Lee wanting a flagrant, but you're not going to get that here in this stage. Caldwell, I believe that is her 5th foul. Nope, it is her 4th, so she still stays alive. But that may not be enough with 11.6 seconds left. Lee back to the line where she just made a pair a moment ago and can effectively ice this game if she converts both. She makes the first. Again, the Lopes back here tomorrow with 2. Next free throw, that's good. 3-possession game. And the Lopes, unfortunately, just about out of miracles Nicole Powell will call her final timeout as the Lopes each team only scored 5 points in that first overtime, but this has been an offensive show here in the second half by the second overtime by the Sycamores. They have outscored GCU 13-6.
Almost to 90 as well. They're really getting up there.
Both teams with their season high in points, and it's not close. GCU's previous high was 74 in that season opening win over Incarnate Word. And the Sycamores had not scored more than 62 points in either of their first 2 games. So the Lopes with Pieta, Miller, Caldwell, Akula, and the lady who will inbound in front of her own bench, Carla Balagay. Gets it for Caldwell. They have to hurry. Caldwell will drive, kick it in the corner. Akula will fire a 3. That one won't go. Rebound, fought for. Pieta's got it. 3 seconds, 2 seconds. And will they get a shot off? No. That's the way this one will end. A hard-fought battle between 2 very young but growing teams. And even though the Lopes wind up on the short end of this one, Alex Larson, you still have to think about a lot of positives for Nicole Powell to build on. She saw a lot more defense from her team. They were able to force a lot more turnovers, and they were able to see some people start to kind of come alive offensively, which is what she's been wanting to see, especially considering A.J. Cephas, their second leading scorer, missing her second straight game. But she saw some very strong performances from Taylor Howard and Taylor Caldwell off the bench, and some big performances from Kavita Akula and Sharon Miller to go along with Laura Pieta, who leads them in scoring with 18.
I think GCU is going to build off this. They played a complete game. They just ran into a team that just played, not necessarily played harder, but just maybe had a little more talent today. And you play you've played 10 times. I'm guessing it's going to be close to 50-50 because these 2 teams were really evenly matched.
Absolutely. Well, again, Laura Pieta leads the Lopes in scoring with 18. Sharon Miller able to chip in 15. And Taylor Caldwell with a nice game off the bench winds up with a dozen. 3-headed monster for Indiana State, Ashley O'Neal, who fouled out early in that second overtime with 21 points, all of them in the second half. Scoreless in the first half, scoreless in overtime. And then Alexis Delgado, 15 points in the first half, scoreless in the second half. But after O'Neal checked out, she winds up with 7 of her 22 points to lead all scorers in that second overtime. And Tamara Lee with some big free throws down the stretch, also in the 20-point range with 20 points even. So the Lopes suffer their 3rd loss of the season, but get a lot to be able to build on towards tomorrow. And the Thanksgiving showdown continues all weekend here at GCU Arena. The Lopes will take on the Blackbirds of Long Island University, Brooklyn. That's tomorrow at 2 p.m. Tip-off right here on GCU TV. We hope you will be a part of it. Don't forget, fans, you can follow Grand Canyon University on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/GCU. So on behalf of Alex Larson, this is Jim Howell speaking to you from Grand Canyon University Arena on the beautiful GCU campus here in the heart of Phoenix, reminding you the final score again in a double overtime thriller. The Indiana State Sycamores 78 and your GCU Lopes 71. Have a great afternoon, everybody, and go Lopes.